all these, right? Lust, greed, anger, madness, envy, all these six anarthas, even we don't want, like nobody likes it. I also don't want to be angry on anyone, but that is triggering automatically, right? This is all conditioned. So even though I don't want, it's acting upon us. So, ready, Prabhu? Yeah. So next part of our program is the Sunday Feast lecture. Today's Sunday Feast lecture is going to give by His Grace Radha Vinod Prabhu. Prabhu is very senior devotee, do kirtans and bhajans. He also leads the events like Janmashtami and all along with Umesh Prabhu. He does book distribution and pujari services. With that, we will welcome Radha Vinod Prabhu with loudly chanting one time Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Over to you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to the Sunday Feast program. Let's have small kirtan to bring some auspiciousness to the program. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha
Jaya Gopi Jana
Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari
Gopi Jana Vallabha
Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna devotees, today we are actually discussing about Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14th verse. Today we don't have display here. If you have phones, you can pull this verse from vedabase.com. So you can go to Google and say Vedabase and space BG and space 8.14 and search for it. And the first link comes from Vedabase. You can open that one and just follow. And just giving some time so that you can open. Vedabase 8.14, Bhagavad Gita 8.14. Hope everybody opened it. Hare Krishna. So I start reciting this line by line, and every line you can actually follow me. Ananya cheta satatam yo mam smarati nityasaha tasyaham sulabha partha nityayuktasya yoginaha Ananyacheta satatam yo mam smarati nityasaha tasyaham sulabha partha nityayuktasya yoginaha Ananyacheta satatam yo mam smarati nityasaha Tasyaham sulabha partha nityayuktasya yoginaha. Good devotees can also sing this one. From Mataji's, one devotee can actually recite and then others can follow. Similarly, Prabhu's and other kids also can do it. Anyone wants to do from Mataji's? Okay, go ahead. Ananyacheta satatam yo mam smarasi nityashaha
Tasyaham sulabha partha
tasyaham sulabha partha
Nityayuktasya yoginaha
nityayuktasya yoginaha. Anyone wants from Prabhuji's? Ananyateja satatam yo mam smarati nityasaha tasyaham sulabha partha nityayuktasya yoginaha. Kids? Go ahead.
Ananyacheta satatam
Ananyacheta satatam
yo mam smarati nityashaha
yo mam smarati nityasaha
Tasyaham sulabha partha
tasyaham sulabha partha
Nityayuktasya yoginaha
nityayuktasya yoginaha. Anyone in online? All right. Okay. So we'll go through the synonyms, word by word meaning. I will repeat. So I'll say first and you repeat after me. Ananya Cheta, without deviation of the mind. Satatam, always. Yaha, anyone who. Mam, me, that is Krishna. Smarati, remembers. Nityashaha, regularly. Tasya, to him. Aham, I am. Sulabha, very easy to achieve. Partha, O son of Pruta. Nitya, regularly. Yuktasya, engaged. Yoginaha, for the devotee. Translation. For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain. O son of Pruta, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. Okay. Nice. This is wonderful chapter actually. This chapter is talking about attaining Krishna. Okay. Before going into deep discussion of this, let's actually offer our prayers to our Guru Parampara. You all can actually join me. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees, welcome back again to the Sunday Feast program. Though I am not really qualified to speak this transcendental knowledge, I am just attempting for my own purification. Please pray for me and give your blessing so that I can speak the right words on with the right mode. And also I would like to give my gratitude to His Grace Satsara Prabhu and Her Grace Jai Subhadra Mataji for giving me this opportunity. With this, let's enter into the discussion. Here, this verse is talking about Ananya Cheta Satatam Yomam Smarati Nityashaha Tasyaham Sulabaha Partha Nitya Yuktasya Yoginaha. For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Pritha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. This particular verse actually mainly addressing about Kevala Bhakti. What is Kevala Bhakti? Why actually specifically called not just Bhakti? Why you are saying Kevala Bhakti, right? That means there are many types of Bhaktis. So looks like, there are some kinds of Bhaktis available. So that is what actually discussed in the chapter 8. So if you see Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters and they are divided into 3 categories. The first six chapters are talking about Karma Yoga and some Dhyana Yoga. And the last 6 chapters, like 13 to 18, are talking about Jnana Yoga. And the middle 6 chapters, from chapter 7 to chapter 12, specifically addressing about Bhakti Yoga. Here, each chapter is talking about Lord's different activities and how Lord actually reciprocates and all those things. But this 8th chapter specifically talking about attaining the Krishna, the Supreme Lord, right? Attaining the Supreme. Okay. So, when chapter 7 ends, actually, the Lord was actually using some kind of terminology. The terminology ends with the terminology, and the chapter 8 begins with Arjuna is asking about those terminology. What is that? I am confused. I never heard that words. Actually, can you please explain that one? The chapter 8 starts with that kind of discussion. So, what is the terminology? The terminology is mainly there are 7 terms actually. One is Brahma, and second is Adhyatma, and third one is Karma, and fourth one is Adibhuta, fifth one is fifth one is Adi Daiva, and sixth one is Adi Yajna, and the last one is Prayana Kale. So he is asking about what is this, what is the meaning of these words, this terminology. Then Krishna is explaining about this terminology. So the first one is Brahma. So as you know, we have heard Brahma so many times in so many places. So Brahma has actually so many meanings, so many synonyms. But in this context, he is talking about Brahma means the Jivatma, the you. Basically, we are this body. Are we this body? No, right? This is not we. So we have this body, but someone is actually running this body. That is actually the soul. That is Jivatma. So here the Brahma is Jivatma. And then the next one is Adhyatma. What is Adhyatma? Adhyatma is the nature of the soul. So the soul has some kind of propensities. So he's talking about that one, Adhyatma. Then the third one is karma. So karma we have heard so many times, the word actually. So the actual meaning of the karma is activity, a fruitive activity which gives one in this material world life after life. So any activity that you do, basically fruitive activities, that is giving some kind of result which you are actually enjoying that one. If you are enjoying for yourself, then that is called karma, which is going to keep you in this world life after life. Then the fourth one is called Adi Bhuta. Okay. Adi Bhuta is actually nature. Nature is Prakriti. Prakriti is something actually sometimes is taking birth, and after some time actually it is diminishing. If you take our body, right? We are actually entered into this body when you have taken birth. And this body is actually transmigrating to different stages. First it was taken birth, and then is a child, and then grown up, and then became old, then diseased, and finally it actually diminished completely, right? Declined. So it went through different stages. Similarly, this nature also, this universe, material universe is actually taken. It's appeared one time, and some time later this is going to disappear. This is not permanent, right? So this is called Adi Bhuta. Then you have Adi Daiva. What is Adi Daiva? Adi Daiva is Virat Purusha form of the universe. This is called universal form, is Adi Daiva. Then we have Adi Yajna. Adi Yajna is the Supreme Lord actually sitting in our heart as a Paramatma, as super soul. So who is the enjoyer of all the sacrifices, whatever we do, right? He is the enjoyer. So that is actually Adi Yajna. So these are 6 different terminology Krishna addressed. Then the last terminology is about Prayana Kale. What is Prayana Kale? Here the Prayana Kale means the soul is leaving the body, which means death. At the time of death, what one should do, that is the question actually Krishna asks, it poses to Krishna. Then this whole chapter, 8th chapter, actually goes to address that particular question only. Anta Kalecha, at the end time of death, what one should do. So addressing that question, the whole chapter runs based on that one. Okay. So then actually Lord immediately addressing that one, saying that Anta Kalecha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yaha prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshayaha. So, whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. So, what he is saying, at the time of death, when a soul is leaving the body, at the time of death, whoever remembers, the person who remembers me alone, at once they are going to attain his nature. That means he is going to go back to his abode. That's what he is saying. So, that's very easy, right? One can think that, oh, okay, at the time of all you need to do is, at the time of death, just remember Krishna. That's all. Why do you need to do this devotional service, devotional practice, whole life? Simply just remember at the time of death, right? It's a simple solution actually Lord given. This is true, right? And then also, let's see whether it's really easy or not. But before that one, let's see what Lord Krishna is saying in the next verse. In next verse he is saying, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajat ante kalevaram tam tam ye vaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. Here, Lord saying, whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. He's saying, in the first verse he said, so while you are leaving the body, if you remember me alone, then you are guaranteed to get me. You are going to come to my abode. And in the next verse he is saying, whatever state of being, at the time of death, whatever you are thinking, that is the state you are going to get. That's what actually next verse is saying. So what does it mean? So if I think of someone thinks of I want to big a kingly fort. And I've been thinking whole life, and then I want to think at the time of death. Then am I going to get the fort next life, or maybe big building, something like that? Yes, it might be possible based on your pious activities. So even you are thinking something, so there has to be eligibility also to get that in your next life. So let's say one may be thinking about a big king's fort, but he may not be eligible. In that case, he might have taken birth as a dog or a snake or a some cat, any animalistic life in that fort. But his desire is basically served, but at the same time he is not a king in that fort. Basically, he is serving something as a servant. Maybe it can be anything. So there is two things basically to get attained at the time of death if you think something to achieve that one. But let's say someone might think simply oh, at the time of death I just want to remember Krishna. Then I don't need to practice devotional service in my whole life, right? But is that possible? It's not really possible, because whatever one person practices at his whole life, only that is going to actually remember at the time of death, right? So let's say you live for 80 years. For 75 years, you have been thinking of money or something properties, accumulating properties, or you want to enjoy some pleasures of this world. You have been thinking until your last minute, and then at the time of death, are you really going to remember that you are going to remember Krishna? That's not possible at all, because for the 75 years or for the whole life, whatever you have practiced, only that you can remember. Nothing else comes at that point of time. So in actually Bhagavad Gita it said, at the time of death, actually, the person sees a movie. Everybody likes movie, right? The person sees a movie. That movie is a very short movie. It's in a flicker in seconds, that will be done. So what do you see in that movie? That movie is actually about all the main instances of your life. The primary instances actually you spent your time, right? You actually you have impressive impressions on your heart. Those kind of incidents actually are shown as a movie. So that is what you are going to see. If you have been actually practicing something different, not a devotional thing, you have been behind money, or you have been behind position, or enjoyment in life. Only those things are going to show up in your movie, and only that is the thing you are going to remember at the time of death. And one more thing I want to say, at the time of death, actually, the soul actually goes through a severe pain. Actually, it's not you can't explain that pain. You all know that the scorpions, right? If a scorpion bites, how much pain it's going to be? It's a very tremendous pain, right? So one scorpion bites, how much pain it's going to be there? If 1,000 scorpions bite at the same time, the body, what happens? It's going to be tremendous pain. You can't actually bear that pain. At that time, actually, you really can't remember anything except the pain, right? So that is the situation one goes through actually. Why that pain happening? By any chance anyone knows? Why that pain is happening is, the whole life actually we have been built an attachment with the body. So since we have taken birth, we entered into body. So once we enter into the body, then Maya comes us, Maya covers us. Then we think that we are not the soul, but we think that we are the body. Then we start serving the body. We will take care of the body like anything. Every day, every minute, we give nice bath and put kind of creams and give nice shirts and clothing and whatnot. Everything we actually take care nicely this body. But we are not this body, right? So one day we have to leave this body. But we have actually built nice attachment with this one, right? So it's not easy to leave this body. That is it in the pain comes actually. I remember actually, when in my childhood, I used to go to my Amama's place in summer, right? Everybody likes going to Amama's place in summer, especially in India. That's a basically custom. So after spending for 2-3 weeks, then we have to return to our home because school start, right? Then when we have to return home, that time we don't want to actually go home back actually. We enjoyed there. We actually met with our uncles and maternal uncles and aunts and our cousins, right? We had spent good amount of time. We actually established good attachment with them. And leaving at that time, it actually gives pain in the heart. We don't want to. We used to cry actually. We don't want to go home. So that is the same situation is happening here. So after spending 70-80 years with this body, you built up so much attachment with this body, then you don't want to leave this body actually. That is the situation. That's the reason the soul feels so much pain there. So That's like Lord said, like, it's easy to actually just remember me, then you can go back to the Godhead or like come to me. That's what he's saying. So then Arjuna is settling down here because he started the whole Bhagavad Gita conversation started with what? He doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to kill his relatives, right? So then he's thinking, oh, okay, all I need to do is just remember Krishna always. That's all. I don't need to actually fight. That's what conclusion is coming into it. And then immediately Lord says this new verse, right? He says, Tarsma sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha mayarpita mano buddhir mame vaishasi asamshayah. Then Lord is saying here, therefore Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. So he's saying, you think of me, but you still should carry out your prescribed duty, which is fighting. So here to Arjuna is saying fight, but for us, whatever duty we are doing, that is we should always doing, we should not forget our prescribed duties. So we should continue doing that one. At the same time, we should be thinking of the Krishna. It's an offering to Krishna. That's the mood we have to have. So with your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. So this is what actually Lord is saying. So here thinking of me and offer your whatever activity, just think of me and do it as your activity. It's an offering to me. That's how you do. Then it's my duty to take care of you. That's what Krishna is saying here. Then one may get doubt, how is that possible? Think of him, while I am working. Is it possible at all, right? So of course, for devotees, they are doing in the morning they are doing chanting and then attending Bhagavad Gita classes, Bhagavatam classes. During that time, yes, it makes sense, we can think of Krishna, we are actually focusing. But what about I am going to work every day, I am cooking and I am dropping my kids to schools or bringing them, all these regular activities, right? How can you remember Lord at that time? Is it possible? No, right? It's literally not possible. But it doesn't mean that, you keep everything aside and then only think of Krishna. So here it means that when you are doing your activity, before starting any activity, just think of Krishna as an offering, a service offering to Krishna. That way you start. Let's say you are going to office. Okay, before going to office, anyway, you did your prayers and just think that I am going to office so that I can earn money and by which I can my family can sustain. And as a gruhastha, you are also actually serving the society. In the society, the only one actually who is actually helping the society is Gruhastha, who is earning money and he is actually taking care of all other three Gruhasthas, right? So that's important, as a Gruhastha, you should be working and work it as offering to Krishna. That is the mode you need to work. Then actual thing is coming, we said Kevala Bhakti, the verse we are talking about, right? So here Lord says there are variety of bhaktis actually. There are called Yoga Mishrama Bhaktis. So there is a Kevala Bhakti and there are some Yoga Mishrama Bhaktis. In Yoga Mishrama Bhaktis also there are variety of Yoga Mishrama Bhaktis. There is a Karma Mishrama Bhakti and there are the Dhyana Mishrama Bhakti, Jnana Mishrama Bhakti, and also there is a different Bhakti Mishrama Yoga also. The variety of things are there here, right? Let's see what is Karma Mishrama Bhakti, right? In 7th chapter we studied about Chaturvida Bhajante Mam, where we discussed about 4 types of devotees, right? And Arati and Arati, right? These are actually, they are actually karmis. So, but they come to the God, they are coming to the Lord. So 90% actually they are looking for the results. They want some kind of money, they want to earn some properties or money. That is their whole desire. But they are adding a little bit of bhakti also. But further they are coming to Krishna. So that is actually bhakti. So 90% is actually karma and 10% is bhakti, right? This is karma mishrama bhakti. These people actually, they are not going to get any liberation from this material world. Rather what happens is, once they leave body, they will attain higher planets within this material universe, like Swargaloka, those kind of planets, where they will enjoy for many thousands of years until they have the balance, the punya balance in their account. Once that balance is nil, then they'll have to fall back to the earthly planets, and then again they'll have to go through the cycle of birth and death. That's the nature of this material world, right? So the examples of karma is like, they are kind of like, they are proprietorship. They want to enjoy the proprietorship. The examples would be like the Daksha Prajapati is like, that kind of mentality, and Indra also wants to always protect his position as a king of demigods, right? So he is always like, fighting for that one, and of course he is also devotee of Lord, but his main thing is actually ends with protecting his position only. And then Jnana Mishrama Bhakti. Jnana Mishrama Bhakti is like 90% of Jnana Yoga, and then the remaining is Bhakti, right? In Jnana Mishrama, here the yogis here are like, they are not actually accepting physical form of the Lord. Rather, they actually, their aim is to go to Brahman. So the Brahman effulgence, right? The Lord's effulgence is called Brahman, where actually only Shantarasa is there. That is their goal. They know Krishna is there, but like, they don't accept that is actually ultimate. They accept is Brahman is ultimate, and they want to go there. But for that also they take help of Krishna. For that they practice Jnana Yoga, but at the same time they also puja, do the like, offerings to Krishna. But their goal is only to go to Brahman, right? But they take help of Krishna. These kind of people, they will go like, once they practice to Brahman. But what is the use of going to Brahman? What is there in Brahman? In Brahman only Shantarasa is there. There are no other rasas. There is no exchange of rasas with other souls, or there is no Krishna basically. So the ultimate rasas is have to be exchanged with Krishna. Then that is the only is going to give blissfulness. So there is no blissfulness in the Brahman. The only thing that is available is Shanta. You have peacefulness. There is no anxiety there. But it's only peacefulness. And what happens like, after like, you stay alone there for a long time, then you get bored. I will give you an example, right? Let's say in a remote place, you are given a big building, okay, which is having all kinds of facilities. You ask for any food, the food is available. You ask for any pleasure, the pleasure is available. But the only thing is missing there is no human beings. There is no jivas around you for next 100 kilometers. The only building, and you have all facilities, and you are put it in that building. So what do? Of course, you will enjoy for some time. You will enjoy for a week. You will enjoy for 2 weeks. You will enjoy for 1 month. Then after that, you get bored, because there is no one available to exchange the rasa. So the soul's propensity, as we see Adhyatma, there are some soul's propensity is there, nature is there, right? The nature is basically to exchange the rasa with the other souls and with Krishna, or like, with other souls at least, right? If it is not there around you, then you get bored. Actually, after some time, people even get into a mood where they want to even suicide. That level they reach. So they can't sustain there. Similarly, the souls who reach actually to Brahman, they can't sustain there for a long time. They might stay there for like thousands of years, then they get bored. Then after that, they'll have to come back to earthly planet. Then they have to do the devotional practice and go back to Godhead. That is the only way to go back to Godhead. So that's actually Jnanis. And there is other way of, other things are, there is a Bhakti Mishrama Yoga. Here, Bhakti is 90% and yoga process is 10%. These people also like, depend on Krishna, and they go back to Godhead, Vaikuntha planets and all. And their yoga Mishrama Bhakti is, yoga is more prevalence. Like 90% is actually yoga, and 10% is only Bhakti. These actually again only targeting only to the Brahman. So these are about basically Mishrama Bhaktis. Again in the yoga, there are different types of yogas. There is Ashtanga yoga, and there is something called Shat Chakra yoga. These are different yogas actually discussed in this chapter. So then Lord is actually talking about the Kevala Bhakti. So what is Kevala Bhakti? In Kevala Bhakti he is saying, Ananya Cheta Satatam Yomam Smarati Nityashaha Tasyaham Sulabaha Partha Nitya Yuktasya Yoginaha. Here, for one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Pritha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. Here the important line here is Tasyaham Sulabha Partha is saying, by doing devotional service, Krishna is easily available. He is actually easily. Tasyaham, for them actually I am Sulabha, very easily available Partha. That's what he is saying. So, why is he available easily? Because the devotees here are doing Ananya Cheta Satatam. They are actually continuously without deviation, any deviation. Ananya means without deviation. Cheta Satatam. Satata means always. Always they are actually doing what they are doing. They are remembering Krishna forever, for always, without deviation. And what is without deviation means here? So, in the day-to-day life, we have so many deviations, right? But the other yogis also, they have different aspects. They want to do some yoga. They want to do karma yoga, dhyana yoga, those kind of yogas. Or someone is behind money, or someone is behind pleasures. These are all deviations. So, here, Ananya Cheta means without any of these deviations, one, always to remember me, Satatam, ever, for always, ever, right? So, these yogis are actually doing Nitya Yuktasya Yoginaha, always actually doing and remembering me. That is the reason for them I am easily available. It's not just actually available easily. The devotional process, in fact, is very easy also. And it's a sublime process also. It's very easy. Lord said in this verse actually is available easily if you do devotional service. But the process itself is also very easy. It's very sulabha. He is available sulabha and the process is also sulabha. So basically, so all the devotees are really very lucky actually to become devotees. The other process is very tough, very challenging. I'll say let's compare. We can compare with Ashtanga Yoga. How actually easy is Bhakti Yoga, right? In Ashtanga Yoga, we have 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga. Basically, it goes like Yama, Niyama, Pratyahara, and Pranayama, then Dhyana. There are different steps actually to go through. These are all 8 steps, 8 limbs are not easy limbs. Actually, these days nobody is practicing. We see some centers like Hatha Yoga, those kind of things. Those are not actually Ashtanga Yoga. Those are a small part of Ashtanga Yoga, which is like some asanas, some exercises, which helps for a certain level to health only. That's all, nothing more than that. Okay, maybe some by doing some kind of practices, your mind also little bit less anxiety, but nothing beyond that one, right? And this is very tough process. In the previous generation, previous ages, this might be possible because they have long life over there. But here we have only 100 years. Within 100 years also, we are hardly living for 70 or 80 years, right? So in Ashtanga Yoga practice, there are as we discussed, Yama, Niyama. These Yama, Niyamas are not ordinary Yama, Niyamas. There are a lot of restrictions, what to follow and what not to follow. What to eat and what not to eat, what to see and what not to see. There are so many restrictions, these Yama and Niyamas. As we also have 4 regulative principles, right? Like no meat eating, no intoxication, those kind of things. Similarly, in that also there are many restrictions. And they also need to practice asana. Asana means the body should be able to bend the way they want. So in this practice, what I heard is actually for many years, they just practice only sitting in a pose, right? There's one stage, one step, right? One limb, sitting in a certain state, in a certain way, Padmasana or something. They practice for many years, and then they practice pranayama. Then actually they have to go to secluded place. They can't actually live in the regular life. You can't do actually your regular day-to-day life. You have to live this actually city life and live in a secluded place and practice these kind of things. And people stand in one leg and they stop eating, they stop even breathing, that kind of austerity they do. And there is a lot of challenge also. When you are leaving this body, actually, if someone really practiced well, so they get some kind of powers they can actually do at the time of death. If you want to actually remember Lord, if it is a devotee, remembers Lord. If it is not devotee, then they do something else, right? So they have practiced in such a way that this is applicable in the Shat Chakra Yoga also. You know that in the body we have 6 chakras as per the what is called some Vedic philosophy, right? So the Shet chakras basically not really chakras, they are not physical chakras, they are actually junctions in the body where nervous systems are connected, right, in different places. So these are actually, if they are not active, then all the kinds of disease, body gets all kinds of diseases. So it is, when a healthy person is there, that means all these chakras are really active, okay. So they have the controllership on these chakras for the Shet chakra yogis. Similarly, Hatha yogis also. So at the heart, the life airs are exist actually, like, right. So they have control. So also, like, this in Hatha yoga or any the Shet chakra yoga, if the body, when they have to, like, leave this body at certain time, like, they have to leave the body in the daytime, they have to leave the body only, like, Shukla Paksha, not in the Shukra Paksha, not in the Krishna Paksha, they have to leave body only in the, like, when the sun is going up towards north, not south. So these all kind of conditions are there. So they'll figure out some time and they go to secluded place and then they sit in the meditation, and with that power, the meditation power, yoga power, what they do, the life airs actually exist in the heart area, they actually pull into their Sahasrara chakra place. Sahasrara chakra place is where actually our Bhrukuti is there, right? There's a Sahasrara chakra, right? In that place, they'll bring there, and then they leave the body, the soul leaves the body through, there is a Brahmarandra. So right, we all know that we have 9 holes to the body, right? 2 ears and 2 eyes and 2 nostrils, and we have a mouth, total 7, and 1 anus, and the 9th one is a Brahmarandra. So when actually a person dies, the soul leaves the body, usually it leaves from one of these 9 randras, right? But as per this yogi, they'll have to actually, the soul has to leave only from the Brahmarandra. So what they do with the practice, they bring the soul to Sahasrara, from there actually they pull out through Brahmarandra only. Then they'll control all other holes to close. So that's the yogic power they have to maintain. Its practicing is very, very tough, and it's not guaranteed also. Even after you practicing life after, you know when you are going to get that kind of level of power, right? In other words, the devotee life is very easy, very, very easy, right? Easy process and easy to obtain Krishna. So how, let's see how easy is that, right? So do you eat? Right, everybody likes to eat, right? It's simple. So you eat whatever you like, but sattvic food, the only thing is whatever you cook, offer to Krishna as a bhoga and get that as a prasadam and accept it. That's simple. You are not missing anything here, right? Regular life, and whatever food you want, you can cook nicely and enjoy it. There is nothing is missing. But in other words, you are missing this whole part, right? And you like music? Everybody likes music, right? So then our acharyas actually, like, build or compose so many songs praising to Lord, right? There are so many poets, so many acharyas, actually they have written so many songs praising Lordship. So we all have available that one. So you can sing whatever you want and enjoy the music. And you all like dancing. And when Kirtan is happening, just dance for pleasure of Lordship. Simple process. And you are enjoying and Lord is enjoying. Both things are happening in this process. And you all like hearing stories. Everybody likes hearing stories, right? So then again we have a big Vangmayam, Vedic Vangmayam, where our Acharya has written wonderful pastimes about Lord, right? And Srimad Bhagavatam, the essence of all 18 Puranas is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. There are beautiful stories about Lord and beautiful stories about Lord's devotees. Actually, you hear them, you read them, or you speak about them. These all are actually simple process, and you are enjoying. It's an enjoyable process, right? It's an enjoyable process. At the same time, you are becoming very closer to Krishna. By doing all these processes, what's happening? You are actually purifying your heart. So when you are hearing about Lord, or when you are chanting, when you are doing Kirtan, what's happening? The mantra, the words actually entering into your heart through your ear, through Karna Randhras, it's entering into your heart area, and it's cleansing. What it is cleansing? There are 6 enemies we have. 6 enemies, right? What is that? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya. Moha, Mada, Matsarya. These are 6 enemies. We have built these 6 enemies for many millions of years, because this is not our first life in this material world. we have already went through so many millions of lives, and now we are here, and in these so many lives, we have accumulated so much of karma, and as we are doing karma, this kama, krodha, lobha, we are building layers after layers, layers after layers. It's not easy to actually clean these 6 enemies. But by reciting the Lord's name, by doing Kirtana, what's happening? It is working like a soap. It is actually washing the cloths. Let's say we have dirty cloth. What happens? You apply soap. As you have more dirty, that the more soap you keep applying, right? So that is what actually when you are doing the chanting or bhajana or kirtana, so that is the kirtana is actually working as a soap on your heart. It's removing all this mada matsarya, all these 6 enemies. So that's the way actually you actually realize Lord one day. So is it easy process or no? Easy process. You are not missing anything, right? And in another way, like in yoga system, there is so much of complexity, and it's not guaranteed that you will get the Krishna, right? And Krishna is so merciful. He is very, very merciful. He is our Supreme Father. We are all children of the Supreme Father. He is always thinking about us. So when can actually my children can come to my home? So he is actually more eager than us. So we are actually some eager to go to Krishna. But Krishna is more eager than us. If you put one step towards Krishna, then Krishna is actually putting 100 steps towards you. That eager he is actually. So there is one interesting story actually, there is in South India, there is Sri Vaishnava Acharya. His name is called Vedantika Desa. Is called Vedanta Desika. One time he is actually going in a forest. That days, those days, more forests, cities are less and forests are more. So to go to one village to other village, you have to pass through forests, right? So one day he was walking through forest and he happened to see a hunter. So what is hunter's usual propensity? He is merciless, first thing, right? He kills animals. That's his profession, of course, he is doing. But by doing that profession, what happens? Naturally, he builds the mercilessness, right? So then Vedanta Desika sees that hunter, and near that hunter at his feet, one small rabbit, right? Very tenderly rabbit, just born kind of rabbit, is playing around his feet and is rolling around his feet. And then hunter sees that one. Then Vedanta Desika is thinking, oh, this guy must be taking this rabbit and is going to kill and then eat it, right? That's what he is thinking. So then he is surprised. What actually that hunter does is, he has taken that rabbit into his hand and then patting that rabbit nicely with love. And then he has taken the rabbit and left it in the bushes so that the rabbit can go away. That's what he did actually. So for his surprise, actually Vedanta Desika, looking at this instance, he actually got surprised and he even actually got unconscious. That Acharya, looking at this instance, right? Then after when he gets up, then he realized that after all, a hunter who is actually merciless person, right? This person actually, when the rabbit actually came to him and taken shelter, it didn't really take shelter, but since it came to his feet, he actually shown mercy to that animal, and he left that animal without killing. Then, as being our Supreme Father, the merciful Lord is the ocean of mercy. What could be he do when we approach, when we take his shelter? How he is going to reciprocate to us? He is going to take care of us very nicely, and he is always thinking of us, and he wants us to get to him. So that is the actually merciful Lord our Lord is. So one time actually in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Advaita Acharya is actually always traveling with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always thinking about Krishna's pastimes. So that's what actually Advaita Acharya is saying, looking at this one. Mahaprabhu, you are always thinking of Krishna. That means wherever you are there, that place is called Vrindavan. So that place becomes Vrindavana. Even in case of devotees also, devotees is carrying, constantly thinking about Krishna, then that place is called Vrindavan. He's saying why it is actually always thinking. Whenever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sees any river, he's immediately thinking of Yamuna river. whenever he sees any kind of mountain, any place like as he is going, he is immediately thinking of Govardhan. And whenever he sees in the forest kind of bushes and trees, he is immediately thinking of Vrindavana forest, right? And whenever he sees some cows, then he is immediately thinking that, oh, Krishna must be actually gazing the cows here. He must be somewhere here, right? So that's what he is thinking. So that's how actually a devotee always thinks of Krishna. So wherever he is actually, he sees something, he relates with Krishna. So then naturally that place becomes a Vaikuntha, or it becomes a Vrindavan, right? So there is one instance actually in case of Prabhupada, right? One time Prabhupada, disciples were saying to Prabhupada, we are very sorry, actually we had to bring you to this dirty place and where only EPs are there. They are not really following any regulative principles or something like that. We have given pain to you. Then immediately Prabhupada said, no. So here, when we are singing, so that's basically in that place Prabhupada was singing Kirtan actually. So when you actually see, when you started singing about Kirtan, Lord's Kirtan, automatically that place becomes Vaikuntha. So this is already Vaikuntha, there is no pain here. When you started singing about Lord, this place became Vaikuntha, and all the demigods and even Narada Burma is also present here. So there is nothing to worry like that. That's actually pure devotees thing. And some other time also Prabhupada, this is our initial days of Prabhupada when he came to US to preach Krishna consciousness to the Western country, right? Western people. So that time there are not many facilities and hardly has 4 or 5 followers. So they arrange a big hall for the program, like a Pandal program kind of thing, right? So that they can invite more people. So they plan the hall is a capacity of 2,000 people. They invite 2,000 people, they do advertise to attract more people, and thinking that at least 2,000 people come. Then they invite Prabhupada, and Prabhupada comes. By the time Prabhupada comes, there are only 7 people in the hall. Then Prabhupada naturally he starts the program. Prabhupada is like that, he is a natural enthusiastic. Whether there is 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, or no one is there, he is same enthusiastic, right? He wants to actually spread the knowledge. He wants to speak about Krishna. So there is nothing less energy. So whenever he has to speak to Lord, he is fully enthusiastic. Even there are 7 people, he spoke about, he had Kirtan and he spoke about Katha. And the program is over. The next day, the devotees come to him and Prabhupada, actually, we are so sorry. We actually planned, we expected 2,000 people, but that didn't happen. Only 7 people shown up. We are very sorry. But immediately Prabhupada says, no. When Katha is happening, naturally, the Lord Krishna himself personally comes here. So Lord Krishna was present yesterday. Who else you want? Actually, all demigods are there. So this is the mood of devotees. Prabhupada is being pure devotee. He was actually talking like that. Okay. Okay. So yeah, there is a lot to speak, but we are running out of time. Maybe I will just speak about the next. Once you achieve, then what is next, right? Then Krishna is saying. Next verse is saying, the 8:15. He's saying, Mamupetya punarjanma dukhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanaha samsiddhim paramam gata. What it means is, after attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. So in the previous verse we discussed that if you continuously think of Krishna and you are going to, sure that you are going to go back to Godhead, he is going to attain him, right? Then in next verse he is talking, right? Once actually you get that my nature, once you are attaining me, being your great soul, the yogis, they are not going to come to this material world. What kind of material world it is? This is Dukhalayam and Ashashvatam. He is saying specifically this material world is Dukhalayam. What alayam? Dukhalayam. Right? Dukhalayam, what do you have? If you go to Pustakalayam, what do you see there? Books, library, right? Only books. If you go to Vastralayam, what do you see there? Only clothes, right? Similarly, this is actually Dukhalayam. You have only miseries here, full of miseries. Like, padam, padam, vipadam. Every step there is a danger. That is the kind of material world it is. So, this is always a miseries. And he is also saying this is ashashvatam. This place is not a shashvatam, permanent place. This place is actually, it has appeared once and is going to disappear once. What about talking about the universe? The universe is not going to be there. Even we are also, we have taken birth and we are going to live for like 70 or 80 years. And then after that we disappear, right? This is like, ashashvatam, temporary. So this place, you are not going to return anytime again to this place once you attain me, right? Then immediately he is saying, 16th verse, he is saying, Brahma bhuvana lokha punaravartino arjuna mamupetyadu kaunteya punarjanma na vidyate. In this verse, Lord is saying that from the highest planet in the material world, what is the highest planet in this material world? Brahmaloka. So in this universe there are 14 planets. From top is Brahmaloka and the middle is Earth planet where we are and the very bottom is Patala Loka. So these are from top to bottom, wherever you take birth. So it's not, you are not going to avoid the birth after birth. You have to die. If you have taken birth in this material world, top to bottom, you have to die. There is no question. So that person is actually not going to come to, the person who is came to my abode is not going to come to this world. That's what is actually concluding here. Here actually I would like to conclude because we are running out of time. If you have any questions or comments, welcome.
Devotees who are sitting in the temple room and who are attending on online can raise your hand if you have any question or comment, or if you want to share any your reflection on this class. Please raise your hand.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Prabhuji, I just wanted to, my question is, how do we know we are developing bhakti in our heart?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay. When did you come into Krishna consciousness?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Almost 3-4 years back.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Do you have any, you have 4 regulative principles. Before that, are you skipping any 4 regulative principles? Are you drinking tea? Before?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Are you eating meat?
No.
No, okay. Are you following any other not regulative principles? You're right. So basically, this just for not for her, for everyone, right? So the symbol of progressing in devotion is you are actually forgetting, giving up the bad habits one after one. So before I am coming into Krishna consciousness, I used to eat meat. I used to even take alcohol. Of course, no smoking, but this is a kind of nature, this is actually naturally in India, all families have this kind of thing. But I gave up this one, and for 15-20 years, I am without them. And my consciousness is also changed. Now I am thinking more about Krishna. Earlier, I used to think about more about my physical, material things, right? Now actually, I am associating more into Krishna devotees, right? The association is increased, and I gave up my association with materialistic people, right? So this is what you need to actually gauge yourself. Are you still associating with material people? Or are you morely associating with your Krishna devotees, or more of spiritual? Of course, you are more 100% there. Then are you progressing? Are you really changing? Did you give up your bad habits? And are you actually doing chanting? If you are doing chanting, before that actually entering into Krishna consciousness, we never did chanting. And when it was introduced, I used to feel the first time I do first round of chanting, I used to feel bored. Oh man, when is this going to end? Now I am actually happily doing 16 rounds. There's a progress. So that you should actually gauge yourself whether this is progress happening. Prabhu, you want to add anything? Hope this answered your question. Any questions? Comments? Okay then. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu, for wonderful class. Devotees, please raise your places. We are having Arati now. Today, Pujari service by Radha Vinod Prabhu and Arati Kirtan by Sanjana.
Forward there, space. We can move it more forward, I think. Or else they like all like squish.
Yeah. I'll check Prabhu. Should we have it? Otherwise, next week I'll do it.
बेटा प्रभु जी ने दिया है मारने में नहीं तो मैं
Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine
Namaste Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine
Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh शून्यवादी हास्यत्यादिशतारिणे
नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चादेशतारिणे
नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदिशतारिणे
नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चादेशतारिणे
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Oh Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ja?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Haribo!
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, ले लो।
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Rama
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama
Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
हरिनाम संकीर्तन की
जय
जय ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्री इति स्वामी इति नामिनि नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणी His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, ISKCON founder, BBT founder, Acharya, His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Pad ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki, श्री गंगा माई की जय, यमुना माई की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की जय, पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, मायापुर धाम की जय, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, वृंदावन धाम की जय, राधा श्याम सुंदर की जय, राधा कृष्ण की जय, राधा गोपीनाथ की जय, गौर निताय पंच तत्व की जय. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gaurang. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya. प्रहलाद ह्लाद दायिने, प्रहलाद ह्लाद दायिने,
हिरण्यकाशिपूर्वक्षः,
हिरण्यकाशिपूर्वक्षः,
शिलाटङ्कनकालये,
शिलाटङ्कनकालये,
इतो नरसिंहो परतो नरसिंहो,
इतो नरसिंहो परतो नरसिंहो,
यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहो,
यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहो,
बहिर्नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो,
नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो,
नरसिंहो मदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये,
नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये,
तव करकमलवरेणाकाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गाम् गलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गाम् केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे.
सब कर कमल वरे नखा अद्भुत श्रृंगार, दलिता हिरण्यकाशिपो तनुभृङ्गाम्, केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे.
केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे.
केशवधृता अवता नर हरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जयो नरसिंहदेव जयो नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जयो नरसिंहदेव
जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज
जयो प्रहलाद महाराज जयो प्रहलाद महाराज जयो प्रहलाद महाराज जयो प्रहलाद महाराज
जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा
जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा
जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा
गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा
नित्य गौर हरि हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल
नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल
श्री श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंहदेव भगवान की श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे।